Welcome back, anybody. I don't know if you're anything like me, but I have found that my plans, whatever plans they are, seem to change, sometimes minute by minute, sometimes month by month, whatever. And that is not any different than what's going on with the addition to the shop. Now, the shop planning started 2 years ago, roughly about the time I milled these beams. The beams were originally milled as a 5 by 13, so that later on, after everything dried out and they twisted or not, I would resaw them down to 4 by 12s. Well, since that time, the building has gone from 12 feet wide to 10 feet wide. So, and the headroom that I had coming in on the eaves is, I want to get it as high as I can, and originally started out somewhere around 5 feet or less for the eave height. So that really isn't what I really want anymore. Even though I want an addition wider than 10 feet, I can't get it and have it meet all the other specs that I'm looking for. So what we're going to be doing is on these 5 by 13s, which currently they're only 4 3/4 by 12 3/4 because of drying out. They're going to be milled into 4.5 by 8s, and that'll give me just barely, if everything goes well, a 72-inch clearance underneath the beam to the concrete, which is 1 inch higher than the lowest I can set my rollover protection on the John Deere tractor. So at least I'll be able to get the tractor underneath there if I need to pick up or drop off 3-point implements or whatever. So anyway, let's get started getting these resawn, and I'm going to show you a couple things that I do to make my life a little bit easier on doing these. So let's get started. In resawing these beams, there's only two dimensions that I really care about, and that's the finished thickness and finished height of the beam that I'm making. The thickness being 4.5 inches is what I'm looking for. There's not too much I can do about that, so that I'm going to be using the regular inch scale on the mill for figuring out where I am and where I need to be and so on and so forth. But because the beams are 13 inches or almost 13 inches thick, and I only need 8 inches, then I'm going to be, instead of just cutting off one large piece of wood, I'm going to cut off 4/4 material. So what I've done, so that it makes my life a lot easier, is at the 8-inch mark right here, I've moved my quarter scale so that the 4/4 mark is in line with the 8-inch mark. And what I'll be doing, and you'll be seeing how I do this, when I start over on one side of the beam, and I start cutting from the top down, I'm going to take off 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, whatever, to take off the outer portion of the beam. Then I'm going to drop down 4/4, which in this case is 1 1/8 inches every time, and I don't care where that particular starting point is until I get to within about 1 1/4 inch, 1.5 inches or so of my 8 inches. Then I'm going to flip the beam upside down, and I'll adjust the saw blade to one of the 4/4 marks so that I'm cutting wood, of course, and so that the last 4/4 cut I make will be right at 8 inches. So you'll be seeing that, and that's one way I make my life a lot easier, and I don't have to do a lot of math or thinking, which lately is getting more and more difficult. So that being said, let's get started with making some brand new old sawdust. All right, well that gets my 5 beams milled, and I end up with 21 by 4-ish boards, kind of for free, which I'm sure I can use for something or other. So that concludes the resawing of the beams, and the next video on the series will probably be on the posts, even though the video has already been shot for resawing the posts. Since there's additional work I need to do on the posts, might as well include all of that in one video, and then you don't have to worry about having to watch something twice. So anyway, thank you very much for sticking around this far if you have. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and hopefully we'll see you on the next part of this. Thank you very much.